Thursday. That's right. Today is January 19th, 2023. Woo! We have already just blown by over half of January. Where did it go? I do not know, but it's gone. I hope that it treated you correctly. I hope that you have stayed true to your resolutions, whatever they may be, goals. I know for us here at Home Sweet Home Treasures, we have really been focusing on getting you better, more quality um, materials out there so that you can better help yourself, your body, mind, soul, whatever it may be that you think that you need to help um, guide you through 2023. You know, we always say it's all about you, and it truly is all about you. Home Sweet Home Treasures is and has been now for over 6 months. Um, been sponsoring Throwback Thursday. We love Throwback Thursday. We go back, we come forward, we get you up to date on things. And today, in the house, we have Oralia Acosta. She is with Nutralicious, and she helps you set yourself up so you have a powerful beginning, middle, and end to your health, whatever it may be. She can't do it for you. That's one of her sayings that she truly stands by. She can't do it for you, but she can do it with you. All of these things are important to her for her to give you what you need. So we are going to get started. Today is the day we are live streaming with Oralia, Throwback Thursday, January 19th. What do you eat? What is something you eat that you know you should not eat or eat less of? Are you ready for the sugar challenge? Ooh, sugar. You know, when you first think about sugar, you think about candy bars, Hershey Kisses, the cola drinks, ice cream, that favorite brownie or cookie you like. But you know what? It's not just about that. Sugar is everywhere. And Oralia is going to be with us here in just a couple of minutes to go over some of those things and what you can do. She um, she has been having a class or um, this week where 5 days of getting rid of sugar. Do you have sugar cravings? And you know, that is so important to know maybe why you eat what you eat. Is it stress? Is it the sugar? Is it not enough time? You're in a hurry. You just grab the first thing that you can find. So we are going to welcome Aurelia now to the screen, to our show. Give her a big round of applause. She is here to talk to us about sugar. Welcome, welcome, Aurelia. Welcome.
Hello, how are you? How is everyone? We've already got a couple of people that are in the challenge. And yesterday we had a very powerful presentation by Christine Bernat, who took us through a tapping exercise. And you were there, LaDonna. What was your experience?
Oh my goodness. Number one, I had no idea about a tapping exercise to help you get your mindset. That's what I got, a mindset of where you should be. And it really did. The few of us, everyone that was on there really could tell a difference, including myself.
Right.
Meaning it was time, having enough time to read those labels. And I've learned from Aurelia and Christine, it is so important when you go grocery shopping, spend at least 1 hour of reading labels and buying the right products because she brought up, for example, salad dressings yesterday. I didn't even think about sugar in my salad dressing. So maybe there is a better, less sugar, less calorie. I don't know, whatever it is that you need
No.
downsize, read that label and figure out, okay, maybe this brand is better, or this is different, or maybe I should change the flavors altogether. And Christine made a good point around you. Maybe you need to make your own salad dressings, because
Exactly.
if you're making your own, you know exactly what's in it.
So, exactly. That's what I do. I just use olive oil and vinegar. If you really want to get fancy, well, I use apple cider vinegar, which has immense health benefits. If you really want to get fancy, you can get balsamic vinegar, which is actually made with grapes and it's sweetened. So sweetened naturally with grapes. And so you can try that. I don't spend money on these salad dressings. They are expensive and they're loaded with crap. There's no other way to put it. I'm a straight shooter. They're loaded with crap. Ingredients that you don't want in your body because they cause inflammation and they create an insulin spike. They're toxic. That's it.
You know, I'm pretty excited about going and because I haven't looked yet. I'm a Caesar dressing person. So I spend, now that the economy, groceries have become so expensive,
That's right.
that the last bottle of salad dressing, Caesar salad dressing, I like a certain brand, was almost $7 for a bottle.
Right.
And I'm just wondering, when I do have time to go and look and see what's in there and how much sugar is in
Grams
there,
of sugar. That's right.
you know. And I
You
know how to make Caesar dressing,
make it at home.
you
Yeah.
know, and it probably would be
Fresh.
cheaper and it would be
Better for sure.
probably better for my body, which is going to
Exactly.
make me feel better. I've learned that through Oralia. You eat, and you know, I have fibromyalgia, chronic pain from it, chronic pain from my arthritis.
Right.
Maybe this will help because it's going to make my body feel better.
And remember what we said, Christine? And I don't mean to put you on the spot. Remember, we said not to take possession of these conditions.
Yes, and I always say it wrong. It's
Okay,
going to take
that's
me
okay.
time.
They're simply conditions that your body is experiencing. You are not your body. A case in point is you may love chocolate, you may love sugar or bread, but your body does not. So we are housed, we are infinite beings in this sea of infinity. Plunk, here's our body. We are housed in that. All of this is an infinity, but we are not our body. And the simplest way to do that, to realize that, is to notice that there are some foods that you may love, but your body doesn't love them. Let's do a real quick exercise. This is fun. Close your eyes right now and expand your being all the way out as far as it will go, and see if you can touch the edges of your being, of your body. Or do you just continue to expand? And in that expansion, you see, and you don't, you may see it, you sense this lightness. There's no heaviness, there's just all the space. Now take that image, that feeling, and let's create an anchor where you anchor it in. I'm going to anchor it in right here on my chest, right above my heart. Now, take a deep breath, and when you exhale, open your eyes. Did you notice a difference between your body on this plane of existence and the true you, the being, how you're expanded and you have no boundaries? You're not your body. So I'm inviting you to say, this condition that my body is having or experiencing, because in any given moment that can change. Miracles happen all the time. People that are in wheelchairs get up out of their wheelchairs. People that have autoimmune diseases recover from them. Look at and listen to Joe Dispenza talk about meditations he leads and all of the miracles that are coming out of that. And I don't need to say anything else. And if you're a person of faith, you know, if your faith is being honest with you, that these miracles, the sliding is never very good. that these miracles can happen. We create them by keeping our focus on the infinite possibilities, on health, not the condition or the symptom, and not saying I am or my. When you say that, you're taking possession of it. So the things that you have right now, you don't want to give them up, right? What about my body's condition, or my body's experiencing this? Notice the difference in energy when you say that. One is expansive, like that feeling of lightness with the exercise we just did. And the other one is heavy and dense. We want to step out of that heaviness and that density into something light. My body's experiencing this. Even when you say it, the tone of voice in which you say it, if you can change that, you're going to start to make shifts that will lead you to other infinite possibilities and complete and total healing. Because I have news for you. Fibromyalgia is just inflammation of the entire body, and your body hurts. That's inflammation.
Right.
You can reverse that by one, getting off of sugar and all the other foods that act like sugar in the body. What are those foods? Bread, wheat, which is in bread, wheat and any other product. And you see a lot of gluten. That's highly inflammatory. And then you've got the fact that these products are GMO and they're glyphosate. You've got corn. You've got all the starches, potatoes, eggplants. Those are part of the nightshade family, along with tomatoes. The outer skin has lectin, so that so that they are not eaten by insects or birds, but they may be harmful. Listen to my wording, to your body. So you may not do well. How can you tell if something's good for you or not? You go on a detox, and when you go to reintroduce these foods, your body will let you know. At that point, it's not Oralia telling you what to do. It's not anyone. It is your body. And I've got a group coaching program coming up starting on January 27th through February 3rd that includes the detox as part of the programming. Now, the reason why this is so powerful is that not only will you be able to tell which foods your body likes and does well with and which ones it doesn't, is that you're also giving your body a break during these 14 days. So you're allowing it to restore and heal, which is exactly what you require to get over these illnesses, to get over these conditions, because they're just conditions and you can change them. They can be reversed.
And Aurelia, tell me why, because your story is so powerful. I believe that it needs to be told. Number one, I am already, I have, I'm going to do the detox program on January 27th.
Excellent.
And the reason, after talking with you and Christine, is that, everything we do is easier if we have a partner, a team, a group that will support us,
Exactly.
not keep sticking the same food, that same cookie in your face or that same piece of cake.
Right.
Someone that you can talk to. So I really look forward to this. But your story of why you do what you do is so powerful. And when did you start doing the health programs that you do?
So
Um,
I've been doing health coaching for about, I think, 8 years. And I've been involved with food and challenges with food forever. When I was a little girl, I was so skinny that I was often looked at by my mom like she's not going to make it because I had bones sticking out of my knees.
mhm.
They took my tonsils out and I started eating. But like everybody else, even way back then, I was eating the wrong foods. And I carried that eating the wrong foods with me all throughout these years and had major, massive problems. I was living in Italy and I had to come back because I actually left Italy, went to France, and had an attack, a stomach pain attack. And I got so sick, I had to take an emergency flight the next day. And so I ruined my possibility of living in France and learning French and working as an au pair. So I've been plagued with these problems forever. And I came back to this country with no insurance, still didn't know what was going on. At least when I was in Italy, I had a lot of free testing because they have socialized medicine. But even those tests were not able to determine what was wrong with me. We're talking 32, 33 years ago. So gluten was not a known problem back then, and gluten free and wheat was not a bad problem. And even though in Italy they did not spray at the time, I still think they are not spraying with glyphosate at the time, even though these two things were not happening. It was enough of a problem for me that I started to get really sick. And what I was developing was a high sensitivity to gluten from overeating pasta 2 times a day, every day. It was just not working for my body. But nobody ever thought of that. That was not a thing back then. So I came back to this country. And then one day when I was out prospecting, I saw something, I saw a brochure that a chiropractor had that talked about your diet and how it affects how you feel. And I was starting to feel kind of bad, but I was still young. So I kept carrying all of these problems with me right up until the time I hit menopause. When I hit menopause, the hormones kicked in, and really, I'm just going to say it because I'm a straight shooter, the shit hit the fan. So I was depressed. I was suicidal. I seriously contemplated ending it all many times. The only reason I didn't do it is because, in my point of view, if I end it now, I'm going to have to come back and do it all over again. So I might as well get the shit right this time around, right? And this isn't my first rodeo either. So I decided to stick it out. Nonetheless, I had adrenal fatigue and I would be passed out on the couch by 1 o'clock because the adrenals were overworking from all the stress and from being estrogen dominant, which is related directly with diet and stress. I was anemic, so I was also weak and I could not function. I had to leave my job. I had to stop everything. And my mother was basically caring for me at that time. And I was a grown woman already. And then I put on 35 pounds. It seemed like it was overnight. It wasn't overnight, but that's what it felt like because it was so serious. And all of a sudden, all this weight gain. Again, the hormones had kicked in, and everything was just a complete and total disaster in my body. So I remember I was doing a lot of cooking back then, and I would make tarts and pies and pastries and cookies and scones and a lot. I would make my own dough. I would make my own bread. I did everything because I love to cook and I love to bake, and I'm very good in the kitchen. So what happened was that I would eat all of this food, and then I would go lie down like around 1 o'clock, and I would feel all that food literally come up to here. And I had a belly of a 6 month pregnant woman. It was awful, and I felt like crap. And then one day I was listening to someone talk about ways to feel satisfied longer and eliminate inflammation in the body. And I started following what she said. The first thing I did that next day was eliminate wheat and corn because my parents are from Mexico and mom would make homemade tortillas, and boy, are those good. I decided I'm not going to do that anymore. Well, I released about 10 pounds in 7 days. And I went from a 6 month pregnant belly to a 3 month pregnant belly. And this is an ongoing process because what happens is once you get rid of all of the major components or foods that are creating inflammation in the body, you're going to get more awareness of foods that are working and that aren't working. And different things are going to come up for you to heal, to help your body heal, or to get out of the way so that your body can heal. But you can't see those under the pile of shit. You can't. When I was depressed, do you think I knew that corn was bad or that I had a sensitivity to MSG? No, I didn't know. I was just eating all sorts of garbage. I mean, even back then, I didn't eat out a lot because I like to make my own food and I love my food. Nonetheless, I still felt bad. But if you want a truly refined diet understood as what you eat and not the amount of calories, you need to get the major inflammatory ingredients, out of your diet. And those are grains, and wheat is a grain, corn, that's another grain. You need to get dairy out because dairy is highly inflammatory. And another expression for this is pro-inflammatory, and you need to get rid of wheat, dairy, and sugar. We need to eliminate sugar. We love it. Our bodies don't do well with it. So fast forward to from the time I just mentioned to about 3 or 4 years later, I got off of all these foods. I was still struggling with the sugar, and I started to break out in welts, this big red patches on my midriff and my back. And we didn't know what that was. So I did the whole 30, and it was so hard for me to do that I had to break it up in 2 weeks, and then I cheated. It was in the middle of summer in August. It was in August in Houston, and it was burning hot, and I would go and I would have this ice cream. What was it? I can't remember what kind of ice cream. It was a healthier brand because I can't do dairy. Lactose just blows me up, and it is very inflammatory. Raw milk is a different story. But then I took a few days off and then I did it again. And that's what was able to help me calm the inflammation from the welts. If I overeat sugar, even to this day, I will break out in a rash. My body will tell me, don't give me that shit. Do not give me that shit. Your body tells you. Your body's always talking to you. We're the ones that don't know what it's telling us. Another thing to consider is that when we get out of the way, when we stop eating these foods, when we stop stressing, when we start moving, when we start doing our meditation practices, because when I coach on the spiritual, the mental, the emotional, and the physical. When we have those things more in alignment, never going to be perfect. It's an ongoing process, it's a journey. But when we have those things in alignment, the body naturally heals. The body wants to be healthy. Your brain is designed to control the body and make it as healthy as possible. So here's your body. Here it is expressing vibrant, radiant health. You've got toxins in the air. It takes a little hit. You've got crap that you're eating. It takes another hit. You've got stress. It takes another hit. You've got fluoride in the water. It takes another hit. You've got someone in the family that's ill and you catch it. The next thing you know, your body's out. But when you take and this is again an ongoing process and it's never going to be perfect. You clean your home from all the crap that's in it, from all the toxins. You start using good products on your skin and on your face. You start meditating. You start going out for a walk. You start moving, stretching, and enjoying it in the morning, doing yoga or whatever stretching you want. You start eating healthy. You start appreciating your body. You have a morning ritual and an evening ritual where you come back to the present and you express gratitude to the divine of your understanding for your precious body and precious life. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to get all that shit out of the way, and the body is going to start to thrive. And you can see these results in as short as 1, 2, 3 days. I've had people tell me that they've adopted a morning ritual, and when they do that, they immediately feel better. And when they don't feel their day doesn't go as smooth. I want to tell you that just by journaling, I have been able to resolve conflicts and matters that I've had for years just by journaling and understanding what was going on. And then I released it. I don't even remember what the problem was, but I remember the individual, and that's completely gone. This is the power of having a morning ritual. And a ritual is different from a habit. A habit is just something that you do out of habit. You do it without thinking about it. But when you get up in the morning and you spend even as little as 10 minutes meditating, and then you get up and you create a ritual. Mine is I make my bulletproof drink in the morning. I sit down, I write down what I've eaten, and then I go back and look at it and see what could be creating the conditions that my body has going on. I write a list of 10 things or more that I'm grateful for. And then I start journaling about what happened, what I'm feeling, what's going on, what I think the solutions are. And then I set my intent for the day or my 3 or 5 intents. That's a ritual. And a ritual is done for a specific purpose and with a specific intent as opposed to a habit. Well, I've got a lot of good habits. Okay, let's put them together for a ritual in the morning And then the evening ritual is the one that's been blown out of the water because for several reasons. I'm currently looking at my mother transitioning, and that has really created massive stress. And I will tell you, I'm not sleeping as well. Your body is so delicate and so divinely designed that when something is off, let's just say I'm not sleeping, I can go back and trace what it's caused by. And it's a stress from any minute the phone can ring, and that's assisted living telling me she's transitioned. That's a tough one because parents are, for many reasons, intents, and purposes, anchors on this plane of existence for us. Whether they've been good or bad, we see them as anchors. And to think that that anchor has been cast away, that's a big change in your life.
It is a big change. And Aurelia, I know I went through that at a very young age with both of my parents. And it's something you cannot prepare yourself for. You
So,
think you can, you think you have, but you can't. So I'm glad you brought that up because your body's telling you. Your body's telling you. It's trying to prepare you. It's trying to let you know, but it just it's life. We know that,
right.
but you can never be prepared. Tell us what is in that bullet drink that you have mentioned a few times.
So the bulletproof drink, I used to drink coffee, but I gave it up permanently about 8 months ago. And the reason is because coffee is very hard on the adrenals. Now, I used to drink a coffee with reishi mushroom, which is a healthier version. The only reason I started drinking that is because when I did the Whole 30 many years ago, I got off coffee. And that's another thing that you're taking off of on this detox coffee to see how it affects you. And then when I went to drink it again, I started having a lot of acidity and burping it right up. So I found this reishi coffee, which worked for a while. And then last year, because my mother was already in assisted living and already having a lot of problems, and I saw that I was stressed, I thought, you know what? I'm going to give my body a break and I'm going to stop drinking coffee. And I have and haven't looked back. And so that's another way that I am getting out of the way from my body so that it can create health for me. I'm taking away the things that don't serve it. And I know coffee, regardless of what many people believe, I know that it's not healthy. It's hard on your adrenals. Now, maybe you tolerate it better. Since then, I've noticed that even green tea has just enough caffeine to create that little unease. When you get off all those other foods that are inflammatory, you're going to be able to notice these small things. But those small things together make a difference and can make a big difference in your life. So the bulletproof drink that I have is dandy greens with butter. Sometimes I use coconut cream and raw cacao powder and a little bit of stevia. In the evening, sometimes I'll make it and I'll use turmeric, a sprinkle or two of turmeric. There is a woman that has a drink that has turmeric and chocolate in it. Her drink is like $40 for 17 days. I can make my own for a fraction of the cost. And frankly, I like making my own. Dandy Greens is a very healthy alternative to coffee. There are so many alternatives out there that if you feel like you can't do without coffee, let me tell you, I can name you at least 5 different substitutes. And it's a matter of you finding which ones you like. I was talking to a lady yesterday and she kept telling me, "Oh, but I'm not getting off of cheese. I'm not getting off." Well, you really are contradicting the fact that you say you want to get healthy. It's like if I tell you, "LaDonna, I don't have anything to wear." Well, come to my show. No, I'm not going to your show. Okay, I don't have anything to wear that I can afford. Well, come to my show. We've got reasonably priced items. No, I'm not attending your show. I'm not interested. LaDonna, I really want, I don't have any more clothes. Try this. No. Well, what do you think is going to happen? I'm going to stay stuck, just like this woman. She is stuck on, but I'm not going to give this up and I'm not going to give that up. And I'm going to tell you, humans, like Gary Douglas says, are cute, but we're not so bright. We do some pretty stupid shit sometimes. We say we want this. I would like to have a thriving business. But you know what, LaDonna? I'm not joining you on the podcast. And I'm not going to do free challenges. And I'm not going to put out free content. And if you want me, you got to pay for me. And I'm not going to do Facebook Lives. and I'm not this and I'm not that. Okay, the universe says, okay, and you're also not going to have business.
Exactly. You got to love it. You got to love on it. You've got to do what you got to do. And I'm going to tell you, with my pain, I love 1 cup of coffee in the morning. But if you tell me I can't have it, I can do without it because
It's a,
I'd rather get my pain gone. I
it's
take medications for pain. I hate them. Sometimes I have to take the harsher ones. I hate that mentally and physically. It harms you. It
right.
does.
It
It does.
does.
So
Right.
I will give up anything except for my family to get rid of this pain. So I look forward to maybe if you can put those recipes in your one of your groups so that we can try
Right.
them out instead of coffee.
I didn't
And
talk about
I
that, but I can definitely include that. Yeah.
yeah. And I
So
know
what,
you want to talk more about this 5-day challenge that is coming up.
yes. So do you have a group? I can get the link for it. I've got it right here. It's not too late for people to join. Let me see. How do I include the private chat? How do I include it here? I'll send it to you here in the private chat because
Okay,
I
you can
try
do
to
that.
include it. That is a form for people to fill out so that they can still join the detox. We're on day 4. It took place this morning. Here's what's going to take place. When you click on that form and you register, you're going to get an email with the instructions to join the group and instructions for you to still join me live tomorrow from 1 to 2 Central with Alan Baran, who's going to be talking about a pattern interrupt. A pattern interrupt is anything that will take you out of the craving in the moment. And for you, especially, LaDonna, I really want you to attend because he's going to be talking about the mystery between sugar and pain. It's linked, and he's going to cover that. So when you join, even though these days have passed, you're going to go into the group. You're going to receive an email with an invitation to join the group, and you are going to be able to see all the recordings there. Take your time to listen to them and listen to them several times because I give a lot of golden nuggets of years of accumulation of information that I've gathered, specifically as it pertains to sugar, your health, and food in general. And then what you can do is you can post your questions. Anybody can post in the group and I will answer your questions. And then you can also go back and listen to the tapping session that we did with Christine, which was super, super powerful. And I forgot to do the tapping exercise on the thymus and then right here with the C cup in the evening. I could have done that to fall asleep better. I did sleep better tonight, but still, my sleeping cycle is just off. And really, the body is so delicate that if something is off, you're going to feel it. Do you remember that movie? It was a, yeah, I guess a movie is correct, called The Princess and the Paw and the Pea
Oh,
with
yes.
Jeanette. Do you remember she couldn't sleep because she was on mattress on top of mattress on top of mattress because often we think that something's wrong and we try to fix that thing instead of looking for the cause that's creating the problem. We're looking out here, but you got to go deep down and find that P. And so the body is very sensitive, and when something is off, it will feel it. And so for me, I think it's the constant in the background about my mother. And I've thrown my cycle off. And so it can take a few days to get back on. I'm not worried. It will come back on. And this was just one exercise that I could have done and I forgot. But it's there. You see, these are just tools to help us. And what happens, remember, we're down here. And then you, as an example, you get off sugar, you get off coffee, you start your morning ritual, you start walking outside in the morning. Today it happens to be sunny and beautiful. And then the next thing you know, you're healthy, you feel better, you look better. And when you feel better, not only do you look better, but you do better because your brain is functioning, is firing on all cylinders. And out of any organ in the body, the one that is the most sensitive and the one that is the most fuel hungry uses up 33% of your body's energy. It's the brain.
Mhm.
So we have mislabeled mental illness, or we have mislabeled all of these conditions, such as autism, schizophrenic, all of those. Those are mislabeled, as Dr. Daniel Amen says, whom I'm sure you've heard of because he's been on Channel 8 numerous times. He's a brain doctor. He says that all of these are mislabeled. They should not be called mental illness. Mental is your attitude, it's brain illness. When the brain is not working properly, expect breakdowns. And remember that your brain controls everything. Right now, my brain is telling me, move your hands, express yourself, open your mouth and talk. But if the brain starts to break down, you're gonna lose some of those functions. This is exactly what Dr. Amen has found in the scans that he's done of hundreds of thousands of people, including inmates that have committed the most heinous crimes. And he looked at their brain and he saw that there were black spots in the brain. It wasn't a healthy, fluffy brain, it had decayed. And that's exactly what goes on when we give our body misinformation. So if we look at food as information for the body, we may see it as something that tastes good and is delicious or not. The body sees it as, oh, you're telling me to turn on this marker for diabetes. Oh, you're telling me to turn on this marker for inflammation all over your body to create fibromyalgia. Oh, you're telling me to start attacking the thyroid because you're giving me something that creates that in the body. I'll turn it on. Or I'm going to have this food. I'm going to have a nice steak with fat on it, good fat, grass fed, grass finished. I'm going to tamp down inflammation. I'm going to turn that marker off. I'm going to turn it off with the next meal when you have baked broccoli with Parmesan cheese and olive oil. Oh, I'm going to turn it down when you have fennel with olive oil and a little bit of Parmesan grated. Oh, I'm going to turn it down when you have a nice delicata squash, which I happen to have here. This is what delicata squash looks like. And you're going to sprinkle olive oil, salt, and a little bit of Chinese five spice. Oh, I like that. Oh, and in line with today's topic, that's sweet. I'm real happy because I'm tending to the taste receptors on my tongue. It has bitter, sweet, sour, and salty. That's the other one. It has 4 taste receptors. I believe it's just 4. They've discovered another one, which is umami, and some people debate that. I sense that there is umami receptor for that. Umami are foods like soy sauce, but I don't do soy because the soybeans are GMO and they are sprayed with glyphosate, and soy mimics hormones in the body and can really throw us off, especially women, but men just as much. So I use something called coconut nectar, and there are several brands of it, and it's excellent. It's an excellent substitute for soy. I haven't used soy in 8 years. I literally have not used soy. The other thing is that where was I? Oh, the receptors. So when you eat that, the delicata squash, let's see, you feel satisfied because this is kind of sweet. So all I do is cut the ends off, slice it vertically, and then use little half moons. Scoop out obviously the seeds, which some people dry and eat. If you want to do that, that's fine. That's how you use everything that Mother Nature gives you. That's how we used to do it in the old days. And then what I do is I mix it with olive oil and that 5 spice powder, and I take each little half ring and I dip it. I mix it in that, or I put it on top, and then I mix it and I bake it for about 20 minutes at 350. And I've got a very healthy, sweet treat, which is not increasing my sugar like sugar or sugary products. Now, you can also overdo it with this. You know that saying, too much of a good thing is bad for you? You can also overdo it with that. Another recipe, which I like to share, which you're into, is the acorn squash. Now, this is almost, I would venture to say it's out of season. If you look at the lines in this, do you see how they're faded? When this is fresh, when it's not old, it's a bright green and it's beautiful. You want to get the ones that aren't too fat because the fatter they are, the less tasty they are. But if they're thinner, they're better. I've noticed that. So if you take acorn squash next year, you cut it in half. You're going to take your favorite nuts. You're going to take walnuts or pecans. You're going to take saffron. pinch it so that it can release its volatile aroma, fragrance, and benefits, and sprinkle it on top, and then take some butter. I take butter and I melt it, and then I pour it on top of this. That is the best pumpkin pie you will ever eat. And you're using natural ingredients. The only thing that you're using that is sugar like is molasses. Pardon me, maple syrup, which is still better than straight sugar. Because we do want these treats. We've got the taste receptors there for them, and we can enjoy them in limited quantities and a better form of them. So I'm of the belief that as a health coach, I can't tell you, don't eat this or that without giving you a substitute. So if I tell you, go off dairy, what am I going to do? I've got a million and one substitutes, and more are hitting the market every day. When I go to the grocery store, I already know what I want. I still turn over the label of those packaged foods to make sure that they haven't swapped ingredients on me because they want to use a cheaper substitute or because they can't find X ingredient. And so they had to substitute it. Most of the stuff I make at home, but there are a few things that I use that are prepackaged, and I'm always reading the labels. That takes a little bit of time. The other thing that takes time is looking at what is hitting the market that's good and that's not good. I've got to tell you that the joy some women get from going to the shoe store, I get 10 times over from going to the grocery store. And as we know, they're always introducing new food on the marketplace. And keto has been a big, big thing for the past, I don't know, maybe 5 years. I got on at the very beginning. And so every time I go to the store, there's this that's keto and there's that. Guess what? A lot of it is shit. I'm just telling you straight. Why do I know? Because even though I don't eat some of those things, I turn over the label, I turn over the packaging, and I read the label, and it's got crap in it of some sort or another. You've got to be really discerning. So, a lot of the bread, for example, and the tortillas and other things that are called keto are not keto because they have corn. Corn is not keto, it's a grain. And people that do your keto eating style, not a diet, eating style correctly, do not eat corn because it's inflammatory, it's a grain, and it's GMO, genetically modified organism, and it's got glyphosate. All of those factors make it a bomb for our system, for our body. The other thing that you'll often see is oatmeal. Oatmeal, if you pay attention, sits in your stomach like a brick. I read something just a few months ago. Oatmeal is for horses, and I would tend to believe that. The only reason we think oatmeal is delicious is because we pour a boatload of sugar on it, or we add maple syrup to it, or we add something to make it sweet. Because oatmeal on its own, like when you have oatmeal cookies, those are good. Why? Because of the sugar and the maple syrup or the vanilla extract. I know because I used to make them. I know what's in this stuff. There are very few products out there that most people eat that I'm not aware of. And then I'm aware of many others because I also specialize in Middle Eastern cuisine and I take those recipes and make them keto. Here's the deal. Do not trust pre-packaged foods. Most of them, even though they say they're keto, have something that is not keto. Outright corn is a no-go from the start. They take out the wheat, they add the corn. That's a no-go. Oatmeal, that's a no-go. That's a grain. They take out the wheat, they add the oatmeal. That's a no-go. You really need to be careful because just because something is labeled keto doesn't mean it's keto. It could identify as keto, but it's not keto,
And
right?
Aurelia, we've always been taught from way back when to now that if you're going to eat bread, eat a grain bread. But if you look at most of those breads, they have bad ingredients in them,
They're
no
all
matter if they're white
right.
or whole wheat or wheat. But that's what our brains are trained because that's what we were told way back when. And now today we're learning more and more and more about our foods.
Exactly.
And when we come across someone like you that makes it your livelihood to make your body feel better, to make your soul feel better, your mind, then we all learn from that. And I know that you love that because that's why you teach it.
Right.
And, from the beginning, I always, I said that Oralia is always saying, I can't do it for you, but I can do it with you. And
Right.
it's so true. You have to make up your mind.
Right.
And you have to do it, but she'll be there every step of the way. And I love that about Aurelia. She's easy to talk to. She's easy to reach. She will set time aside to talk with you and get you on the right track. Thank you so much, Aurelia. I have put that link
Yeah.
that you gave me.
Here's
Yeah,
another link. This
okay.
link is to the landing page for the program.
Okay, let me put that in real quick.
They can look at the details and they can ask me any questions, contact me, text me, even call me. If I'm available, I'll take your call. And if you leave a message, I'll make sure to call you back. So
okay.
The whole purpose of this is so that what we're going to do is we're going to get together in a group for 6 weeks, cover the different things that are in the landing page. And then we're going to decide, do we want to start the detox 2 weeks in, or do we want to do it the last 4 weeks? It's going to take about 4 weeks to go through the detox. But you're going to be set up on my end and from me for inevitable success. I'm going to be holding your hand. You're going to be in the group, posting your questions, asking your questions, all of that. So if you have any questions, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you. And join us tomorrow. Sign up for with the first link or the sugar challenge so that you can join Alan tomorrow and look at how to stretch and move as a pattern interrupt to break your sugar craving and to solve the mystery between pain and sugar. Okay?
That's awesome. Now we do have a sneak preview and the show is just almost over. We just want to say one more time, thank you, Aurelia, for all of your knowledge and all of your help. And I'm excited about the program coming out and just having that. I know it's going to be successful for me because I'm going to have a team with me.
Yes.
I'm going to have a group with me. So here's a sneak peek preview of just a few things from Home Sweet Home Treasures, and then we will end this session. Hello, everyone. This is LaDonna with Home Sweet Home Treasures. I am here to give you some sneak peek preview items that you are just absolutely going to love. We want to encourage you to watch us on Throwback Thursday. We will be previewing this live and hope to see everyone at 11:30 Central and 12:30 Eastern. So here we go. I have this beautiful curtain. Look at all the many colors. You have the yellow, the khakis, peach, blue, darker peaches, almost an orange color. So a huge variety of items that you could decorate your kitchen or dining room with when using this fabric for your curtain. Now this is a custom-made curtain. Now you could very easily put this slate piece. Look at that. It brings out the yellow colors. Look at that. So it looks really good together, especially from a distance. Now this is showing up more yellow in the video than what it really is. It's a little bit lighter. It tells you all about sage. Or what if you don't want sage and you want to bring in this mustard yellow owl plate? It does hang. Great decor piece with this curtain. Again, it's going to bring out these yellowish colors that you will find throughout. It just complements it. It doesn't make it overwhelming. And you'll see that we have fruit and flowers, leaves, just all kind of decor here. Of course, you can always use your clear pieces, this carafe, for your orange juice or milk. But guess what? Use it for a vase. That's right. Use it for a vase. Beautiful on your bar area, your kitchen table or dining table. Put some of these blues and peaches and yellows in there. And look at this little teacup and tea pitcher. So see, it has the fruit decor just like over here. And it brings all these colors in. They may not match perfectly, but in today's time, they don't have to match perfectly. They just have to complement each other. Now we have this beauty. It's a pitcher. Now it's more of a purplish color, but you can see this beautiful, vibrant brown color. It really brings in these reds right in here, this browns and reds. Look at that. And again, remember, it doesn't have to match perfectly on the way we are decorating right now. Okay, here's another cool piece. Now, I'm always teaching and saying, keep things out of the landfills. Now, this was a Yankee candle. So you could very easily add a candle in here for decor. But guess what? It is sterilized. Wash it again once you get it. And you can fill it with rice or beans, potpourri. Look at that. You know what would look really cute? If you put some grapes or cherries in there that are one of your decor pieces. Hey, I hope that you enjoyed that sneak peek preview. And I just want to say, have a wonderful day and the rest of your week. And we are going to head out with just a few reminders. Don't forget about our fundraiser for the White Right Food Pantry, White Right, Texas. Every time you purchase something using their link, and you'll see their link on the next slide, they will receive 40% back on that purchase. So that is a huge percentage. Most do not do that, but we choose to help others. And isn't that the way the world should be, is helping others when we can, however we can. Right. So here we go, and have a beautiful week.
Bye, everyone.